Right, I picked up another bike. This one was free. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it, but I love the color and I love the frame. Shogun is an Australian brand, or used to be Australian brand, so you get to see these bikes around. I have one that's my favorite bike, and yeah, I decided to pick up this one. Now, I literally just brought it home, and I was just going to strip it down to the frame, and then I don't know, I'll do something with it later. But I thought, why not do it now? It's 2:30 right now in the afternoon. I have until about 5 o'clock, so about 2.5 hours. So let's see how quickly we can make a riding bike out of it. So let me show you around what this thing looks like. It is in pretty bad shape, so it's going to be a part spin special. But yeah, let's see what we can do with it. All right, let's check out the bike. So as I said, it's a Trailbreaker 1, and the real reason why I picked it up was this color scheme. I think it looks pretty cool. Black with this kind of a green, fluoro green sort of splatter. I think if I give it a nice polish, it will clean up quite well. Now, let's start from the front. Very basic shifters. They will probably go. Levers I will keep. I don't mind these ones. They're basic, but they'll do the job. Yep, that'll go. Handlebars. Grips are in a pretty bad state, so we'll need some new ones. Now, it does have a hanger for the cantilever brakes. I will keep the canties, most likely. I'll decide how I go for time, because they are quite rusty. So I might have to just swap it for a V-brakes. I'll see whatever is faster and easier. Obviously, we'll need new tires. These ones are shot completely. The rear one is absolutely flat. Rusty spokes, so new wheels. Let's probably keep the skewer, but not much being kept at the moment. I haven't decided yet on a stem. It is rusty and basic, but I'll see what I have in the parts bin. Cranks, basic stamped set. Pedals, nothing special. Same deal with the front mech. We have, it's a Shimano of some sort, but that will go, most likely go wide one by at the front. And then again, it will depend on what I have for the rear wheel. Very, very basic. This would be 20 or something along those lines, Shimano one. But as you can see, the frame, the bike overall is in a good nick. It didn't have much use. I say good nick. Frame is in a good nick. Seat post moves. I did undo it, so nothing seized. I did spray some penetrating oil already on a lot of these bolts. The rear tire is completely shot. I think it has a tear. Yep, over here. Sucker is completely gone, but also rusty spokes, so this whole thing will go in a bin. So yeah, let's strip it down and raid the parts bin and see what we're gonna put on it. Radio. So let's start off with the handlebars. I will put the what do we call this? Quill stem converter, and I'm gonna run this no-name eBay stem, and then these cool handlebars. They're from a Triumph motorcycle, so quite wide. I had them before on another bike. For shifters, I'm gonna go with these pole, but I can't believe they're not pole shifters. So they're actually this is like a AliExpress pole copy of a bracket, but then with the Shimano friction on it. So I've been meaning to use them for a while, so I'm gonna give these a go. If they don't work, I have another friction shifter in here, which will be the mounted from underneath. These ones are mounted at the top. Seat, have some random one. It's in a good enough condition. Has a bit of white, so I think it might work quite well with you know, Shogun logo. We'll see. I do also have another seat post, a silver one, with a, like I said, the basic seat post, and it has this Scott seat, but it's kind of tiny. It's not the most comfortable. So, anyways, I'll play with this a bit later. For cranks, basic XH 300, and then some chainring, narrow wide one. I don't know if I have chainring bolts. You would have thought I would have learned after the last one, but hey, here we are. So, and then for shifter or for the rear mech, I will go with this STX one. I do have this Alveo as a backup, but it's dirty and not clean. The only problem with this STX one, it's kind of hanging on by the thread. I don't know if you can see, but this part in here was kind of stripped off, and I don't think it will be an issue, but I have this one just in case. Some new cables. I will reuse the housing. And then for wheels, I found these, I think they're Alexi rims. I'm gonna take this tire off, and then we'll put these Innovas on it. That's all I have at the moment. Some big ass tubes, but hey, using what I have. And then I haven't decided yet on the grips, and I haven't decided on the saddle. Anyways, we'll play with that a bit later. So let's clean up the bike first. Get this started. Brakes. Fingers crossed there's no runners with this one. It's an old bike, so who knows. But there might be surprises in there. Probably. Oops. I'll see how the bottom bracket feels, and then if I feel like we might need to replace that one, we will. So this back wheel is going in the bin. Take this chain off. This chain actually looks in a good nick, so this will not be thrown in the bin. And whenever I strip the bikes, like everyone else, I keep it in two separate piles. There's a pile that goes in the bin, and then there's a pile that goes, I may or may not do something with it. This chain is going in I may or may not do something with it pile. Let's take the pedals off. Now I have loosened them up on the ground. So, pro tip for you: loosen the pedals, loosen the seat posts, sometimes even loosen the head stem on the ground first. It's a lot easier, more leverage. And I did spray penetrating oil on this, but a little bit stiff. And if you're wondering why I'm taking off the pedals, I will get rid of the cranks, but I thought, why not? I might reuse the pedals. These are basic plastic ones, but you know, there's always can use them for something. Alright, threads look good. I'm just checking and making sure that they're clean. The threads. You never want to force this tool into the threads. It should really just kind of be smooth. Say, I don't like this. So I'm gonna spray a little bit of WD-40 in there, just to make it a bit easier for them to go on. And one thing also while I'm here, I'm just feeling the bottom bracket to make sure it's not loose, and it's not. And it spins quite well. There's no grinding, there's no yeah, it feels actually pretty good, so I have a feeling I'm not gonna touch this bottom bracket, I'll just leave it. Now always check from the back, make sure that the knocker is going off, and it is. It's always nice when it comes off in one go. And this one's going in the rubbish pile. Now, biggest thing with the taking off cranks, don't rush. Make sure that the threads are nicely in, and then everything feels as it should. Because this is one of those moments when you're taking off the threads where things can go wrong very quickly when you're taking off the threads, when you're taking off the cranks. And if you scuff the threads up, things can go wrong very quickly. And then you got hours of work. Now, I did mention that this frame looks in a pretty good condition, so I think this bike was just left out on the elements, and but it hasn't had much use, so fingers crossed, might be lucky here. So what I will do is I'm taking this one off, so the front derailleur I'm not too fussed about. Cable ends are getting stuck in I will reuse the housings if I can get the cable ends out, and that's my concern at the moment. I might spend no time messing around on all things like a cable ends getting stuck in the this way. The pro mechanics got the things figured out. Plus pro garage mechanics, it's just the way you do it. And yep, I should have taken this off. So I forgot to mention, I love Shoguns. I think they are kind of a strange brand. They were popular in Australia for a while and then just completely disappeared. I never heard of them until I started to play around with these older bikes. So they're kind of popular on Instagram and stuff, but I see them around the place, and they have a kind of cool colors. There were some higher spec models as well. So yeah, whenever I see one of the Shoguns, especially considering that they can be quite cheap or free. I mean, I had 5 Shoguns so far, and 3 of them were free. The other 2, one was $20 and one was $50. So they're not much money, but they kind of look cool. And yeah, you don't see them around. So I love Shoguns. And this is a very basic mech. I think this one will go in a bin, to be honest. Alrighty. Let's take these handlebars off. Now these grips are completely perished, so off they go. Basic foam ones. Huh. I haven't seen a plug like this before. Okay. Luckily this bell looks like it's a hey, clip-on one. Goes in a bin. Oh, cool. Let me show you. You can see inside, very clean. Nice. That's why we have the plugs in here. You might be wondering what's my process when I'm disassembling the bike. The reason I'll look at the parts that I think might give me the most drama, and I'll start with that because, you know, eat the frog first, I guess. Get the hardest thing out of the way and deal with that issue, and then everything else is kind of easy from that point on. So I don't actually have like I always start here, I always start there. Obviously take the wheels off and stuff like that, but then I kind of go by feel. One thing I did learn when I started to work on these bikes is that you really kind of have to feel the bolts and screws. Make sure you don't strip them. So now what do I do with these shifters? I think they fit in good enough to kind of keep for something type of they're good enough to keep for something. They're basic though. Oh well, we'll make it work. Something else may use them, so we'll keep them. Levers. Yep, we're keeping those. I'm going to take this thing off. This is what I mean about making sure you undo stuff by feel, because I really don't want to be stripping any bolts and screws and nuts. It just makes everything take way longer. What am I doing in here? Accessories. Whole bunch of accessories, most random stuff you find on the bikes. But hey, this was the means people are using them. Oh, I forgot to mention, I mentioned this sort of like about the parts in a maybe pile. I actually have a whole box called Purgatory. It's kind of maybe pile, but in reality it's probably going to end up in a bin. So yeah, it's kind of in between stage before I actually throw it away. It did save me an occasion with a random part. Alright, let's keep stripping it. I did undo this screw off camera. It was about to get stripped, so I was like, oh, let's deal with it. Now, whenever I cut cables, even though I'll replace them, I know I will replace them, I still cut them just in case I can kind of use them again. Because I had a couple of instances where I've cut the cables like, hey, I'm just gonna put the new ones in, and then realized, oh no, I don't have any new ones, or so really just what doing here, and then we'll deal with it later. Put it in the maybe pile. Break cables, break lever, seat post. Oh yes, I did loosen it. What the hell is this? This is actually amazing condition, brand new. So you know what, I'm putting this in, maybe use a pile, but the seat itself is definitely not. Let me show you what it looks like. Oh wow, that's a decent sized seat post. So the seat is seen better days, but the seat 26.8. Cool. So the seat post over there should work. We will put this in maybe for later pile. I'm definitely not going to throw away seat post because it's actually in a good condition. The seat is going. Take the cables off. Look at this little cable protector thing on my jiggle. These things are there to stop in case your cantilever cable fails or something so it doesn't get caught in a wheel, I think. Now, I'm curious to know from anyone back in the day, did that actually happen much at all? Do people get the canty cables get caught in a wheel? And when it breaks off. So the brakes are, these are the rear brakes. They're just dirty. This cable will need replacing, so I might do an ultrasonic cleaner here. We might use this thing, lob these in a ultrasonic cleaner and see what we can do. Okay, now I'm not stuck. What's up with you now? How did you manage to get stuck? What's going on here? Okay, so I have this caliper stuck and I can't quite tell what's wrong with it. So let's spray some penetrating oil. What is the deal? Where and how can you be stuck? Stuck on the seat post, on the post, but it moves quite well. So the thing is loose, moves easily. I wasn't want to slide off. Anyhow, let's give this another go. I think it might be time for a hammer. It's hammer time. If we can give it a bit of a locked up. I've had a cantilever brake get stuck like this before. Normally they're pretty... Normally they're pretty good. And just like that, it's easy. Simples. 4 freaking minutes. Wow, this head stem is super smooth. Like, I genuinely can't believe how smooth it is. Then the bottom bracket. Yeah, wow. Not the smoothest, as in, it needs a bit of grease, but there's no crunching, there's no... It just feels a bit dry, so... Let's see how we go for time, whether we touch the bottom bracket, or I might leave that for another day, and then continue with the disassembly. So what I'll do, this whole thing off. Hey. This is the beautiful thing in Australia. Very few of these ever get stuck in here. I have not run into one of them. And same deal for the seat posts. Usually seat posts are just someone jamming them in there. We don't actually get them rusted, so that's one good thing living in a freaking desert. Oh, ready. Just soapy water. So what we have here, speedlight cycles are still in operation, and one of my mates, Glenn Ward, shout out to Glenn, still runs this shop. So it's amazing that this bike from 90s is still kicking around, and it was sold in that same shop. All right, next phase, polishing the frame. I normally like to take my time with a lot of these builds, so just do it slowly. Yeah, it takes me days. So this is something totally new to me. This is more of a challenge. You haven't gathered already? My neighbors are nearby. If you haven't gathered already, I like my challenges. I like to say what happens when I set myself a target, a goal. And let's see what happens. When I'm polishing this, I'm thinking, I need to test the back wheel. Hey, I'm all merrily getting the front ready. I'm not even sure if these wheels will fit. Yeah, that's the next thing. Once we polish this up. Oh man, it looks so much better right now. Come have a look. Come have a look. Come have a look what this thing looks like. Check out this paint. This is a very cool frame, very cool paint job. Nice. Alright, let's make the bike out of it. First things first, let's see if the wheels fit. Cool. Alright, so the rear wheel will fit. Cool. It will. It fits. Okay, I had to do a little bit of a break. Battery in the camera is dying. But I have done some further work on the various parts. So let me show you where I'm up to. And yeah, let's just keep rolling. Radio. So this is what I've done off camera. I've put the sprocket on the crank. Unfortunately, this one wouldn't work. It was wrong offset. So if you watch my previous videos, you'll know I still haven't figured out or haven't bought more chainring bolts. So I ended up filing these ones and messing around, but they're fitting now. I have also realized that these two cranks are not the same. This one is FCC102. It is 170 mil length. This one, on the other hand, is FCA300. It is 170 though. So yeah, not ideal, but that's what I have at the moment. So what I will do now, we'll put the calipers into the ultrasonic cleaner, get them done. And the problem I have is that this thing, so the hanger, is quite rusty, and the other one is starting to strip this bolt. So it's not going to work, or rather, I'll spend too much time messing around with this. So what I will do is I will fit these ones instead. So yeah, let's see how that goes, and then while the ultrasonic cleaner is doing its job, I will clean up a little bit these levers, take the cables out, and check the housings, and yeah, just generally do some cleaning. So let me set up the camera here and get that job done. Nice. There's no substitute for scrubbing, unfortunately. I'm actually thinking, should I just go with the V-brakes? Hey, they're a bit grungy, these Gantees. And I will reuse them. But I'm just thinking, do I want to put them on like this on a bike, or should I just go with another set of levers? What do you guys reckon? So this is what they look like at the moment, but they're quite rusty, and I'm not sold on it. I am not sold on it. You know what? Change of plans. We're gonna go with the V-brakes. Let me show you. So this is the plan. We're gonna go with these ones. Set up the comp, and then I have these levers. I will give them a quick cleanup. From memory, I think these brakes were really good. I think the reason why I kept them was they braked really well on the bike I got them off. It was too small for me. So I ended up, I think, literally just taking the brakes off it and then passing on the frame. Okay, let's start with the assembly. So, put this thing, it says where is the hole, not the shaft. Is this going to work like that? We need to go like this. It shouldn't really be like this, shouldn't it? This thing will sit flush, so which means I need some spacers. So here are some spacers. A few spacers. Hey, check these big handlebars. Plenty of clearance. Once it slides in, it'll be a bit close, but not too bad. And then the overall run from the back, it should be okay. Maybe a little bit close. It's cutting a bit fine. Let's have a look. Like a glove. Okay, let's put the brakes. Not like this. This one's having a problem. I need to sand it down a bit. It was stuck. There we go. Now we're talking. That was the problem. Cool. This one. Oh. Oh no. That's a special kind. Does anyone else lob the tools across the workshop from time to time? Yeah, just keep things interesting. So what we're doing is we're going to fit this thing. STX. Looks cool. Now I'm running out of battery again, so while the phone was charging I fitted the tubes. Oh, here's a theory. Apparently, with pedals, so one has a notches and one doesn't. And apparently that's a sign that one is one side, one is the other. Now, which one's which? So the one without the notches is the right one, and the one with the notches is the left one. I did not know that. Who says Instagram can't be educational? And the brake lever. Fine. Properly. Let me know in the comments. Does anyone actually use a torque wrench when you're fitting in levers and stuff? Now, what you'll notice is I found I had the old one from somewhere. Still had a cable, still had a guide. So there's a guide over there I was going to put in, and then I realized, hey, I already have the whole thing ready, so let's fit that one. This thing is gonna look mint. Considering what we started with at the start of today, I didn't have a bike, and now I do, and it looks like this. This is a win in my books. Cool. Wow. Hello. Right, now we're gonna put some new cables for a shifter. There we go. I might do. The cable's gonna go in here. The final countdown. This sucker looks a little bit long.
Eventually.
Okay, seems like this STX is not working. Now I do have that Alveo, but I don't like it. So I'm thinking, might try this one. I've been meaning to use it for something, so screw it. Why not? Okay. And this was a 5-speed. Looks like it has the range, so should work. So we need to just adjust it a little bit. And she is good. Which way needs to go in that way. Now, watch me. Watch me guess which one's high, which one's low. That's the high one. Cable could be a little bit tighter. All right, let's get the brake sorted. Because the canties would run from the middle and down, whereas the V-brakes run off on the side. So I will run this cable up to here, roughly about here, just before a letter T, just before the letter T of the Trailbreaker, and then I will zip tie it to here. I found a solution. I raided the parts bin, and I have this Shimano guide. Should work. So we'll mount it over here, and then we'll mount the brakes in there. Spot on. Oh, this will be like when you show it on video, this is so easy. No one will think like, oh my god, how long did it take you to do this? Everyone will be like, oh man, you're so smart. Make it look easy. Cool. Last couple of parts. I'm gonna put these these grips on there. Yes, I'm running with the brown theme on this bike, so cool. I will also replace this seat. This one is super uncomfortable. Okay, here. And the bike is done. It did take longer than expected. It is now 9 o'clock at night. I did take a break for lunch and to charge my camera and put the kids to bed and stuff like that. So yeah, it didn't quite take 3 hours. It took a bit longer than that, but I think it looks absolutely amazing. This paint job is so cool. That's the reason why I got it, and freaking looks $1,000,000. I really enjoyed the build. It was literally, let's see what we have in the boxes and see if it works. And yeah, this is the end result. I love it. I'll let you know what it rides like, because I guess that's the fun part, to actually take them for a spin. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed this video. There is more to come. I have plenty more projects in line. But when something like this comes, I sort of couldn't help myself. I had to jump on it. It's like a new toy, man. Enjoy the final shots and let me know what you think. Until next time.